Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Mrs. Pitts.
Okay.
I'll be less than 5 minutes.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye now. You might. Hi, I'm not muted. You're muted. Don't know who that is. Proteet's here. No one in the room. I know I'm not muted. I better mute myself. Must be doing something. Hello? Not chatting.
Can you hear me, Tara?
Yes.
Okay, when I take my hand off the space bar, I get a message which says you're muted and you can't unmute yourself.
You can't unmute yourself. Okay.
That's
let
the
me get
message
a-
that I get.
Now you can unmute yourself.
They must have had the meeting blocked.
They did.
Yeah, because it shows that you are muted.
Well,
But
now
Miss
we're
Peterson is in.
unmute ourselves.
Everyone's unmuted now. All
Yeah,
you have to do is hit it. Miss Pitts?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
yes,
Yes, you're
Everyone
not
can hear me?
muted now.
Everyone can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Pitts, Miss Martin is going to do my minutes.
Oh, okay,
I've been talked out all week.
okay. Understood. Totally understood.
Thank you. And I have to go tomorrow night, so my voice has to be back.
Oh,
Hello, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
How you doing, Miss
Hello.
Stratton?
good evening, Miss Dredden.
Good evening.
Mr. Shaw,
yes,
I enjoyed seeing the basketball team. That was nice. Streaming was nice.
yes, it was. That camera is absolutely amazing.
Oh, it is. Very detailed.
Yes. We should be able to, it's going to be able to do more activities than just our basketball team. So that'll be,
Hello?
That's nice.
Oh, Miss
Mhm.
Pitts, you must have been calling me.
Yeah, I was because I was muted and I didn't know what, so I put a call into you. But I'm okay now.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right, bye. Don't answer that. It rang again.
Okay,
That's a shame.
Good question, baby. We'll go ahead. We'll make sure. Somebody gotta be in there with. Huh? Myra. Myra, one of you, one of you. I broke my glasses.
oh,
Uh,
The lens is sitting.
th- you don't have a spare?
No,
Oh,
I got my spare is scratched.
oh, that's no good.
Mhm. I got the wrong one. It's pineapple. Yeah. No, thank you. That's why I got banana. You want to try this? I'm so upset. Pineapple. A banana. Yeah, she took a bottle in there just in case you needed to leave. No, she didn't. Took a bottle in there. He just needed.
So Carol McAllister has joined us. That's the partner from Bowman. She's going to report out on the audit tonight.
Okay.
Thank
Hey,
you.
everyone.
Good
Good
evening.
evening,
How are you?
everyone. Good. How's everyone doing?
Okay.
Good.
Hey.
Ms. Boyle. Ms. Boyle, do we have an addendum? I didn't,
Yes, there is.
there is an addendum?
Yes.
It's very late, Mrs. Pitts.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Long. How are you?
Yes, it came at 3:55.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for the commentary, Mr. Long.
Hola,
Mr. Blake, how you
Good
doing?
evening, Mr. Blake.
it's a great day in Winslow Township.
Oh, somebody's awake.
Mhm.
Bien, ustedes.
They just-
Sorry, my Spanish is very limited. I only speak it on Thursdays. Sorry.
Just announced Camden schools are shut down for the next year and a half or what?
Mrs. Pitts? Mrs. Pitts?
Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
We can now.
Okay, thank you. Good evening to everyone. Lights, cameras, action. Here we go. Good evening, Winslow. Good evening, board members, administration, and our special Mrs. McAllister, is it? Good evening and welcome. The Winslow Township Board of Education's regular school board meeting. Today is Wednesday, February 24th, 2021. Public notice of this meeting was given to all board members and associates in notices dated February 1st, 2021. Adequate and electronic notice of this public meeting has been provided specifying the time, place, and manner in which this meeting is being conducted. It was advertised in the Courier Post, posted in all schools, the administration office, the municipal building, the library, the Bud Dubel Center, Edgewood Acres, Elmtown, and the Winslow Township post offices. Excuse me, and this is our mission statement. The mission of the Winslow Township School District, a large, diverse, and growing community, is to educate all students to become independent, lifelong learners, critical thinkers, and caring and confident members of their community. In partnership with the community and in a climate of cooperation and mutual respect, we'll provide an academic environment which values excellence and diversity, encourages students to strive for personal excellence, and assist them in acquiring the knowledge, skills, and attitudes necessary to contribute positively to a rapidly changing world. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Present.
Ms. Dredden,
Here.
Ms. Martin.
Present.
Thank you. Ms. McClendon,
Present.
Ms. Moore. Ms. Moore,
I see her, her name is here, but I don't see, she doesn't have on her visual. Is she muted? Can we tell?
She's having problems.
Yeah, she's having problems.
I'm here.
Okay,
okay.
good. Good evening. Okay, there she is.
Okay. Ms. Moore, Mr. Shaw,
Here.
Ms. Thomas,
Present.
Ms. Peterson,
Present.
and Ms. Pitts.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Bull. Can we now take a few minutes and recite the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Ms. Martin? Ms. Martin?
Yes, Madam President.
Ms. Martin, would you read our 2020-2021 district goals, please?
Yes. 2020-21 district goals. Student achievement. Continue to implement best practices for delivering instruction to students utilizing all available and appropriate instructional modes. This shall include A, ensuring articulation at all grade levels throughout the district. B, focus on classroom instruction at all grade levels. C, ensuring all students have equal access to equipment and resources needed to facilitate and promote student learning in any setting. D, evaluation and updating all district programs. E, accountability of all district staff. 2, continue to foster a positive school environment that is conducive to teaching and learning. A, focus on building relationships among staff that will result in increased learning and more effective instruction. B, promote creative instruction, training, and retraining. C, emphasis on collaboration with all district stakeholders. D, promote cultural competence throughout district. E, teacher to student relationships. F, student to student relationships. 3, market our strengths and achievements to all stakeholders to increase capacity for greater parent, caregiver, community support. A, continue with our public relations marketing plan. B, continue to work with the various advisory committees in the district. C, examine communication methods utilized by the district.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Moving now, board members, to the top of page 2, we're at awards and presentations. Dr. Potteet?
Yes, members of the board and community, on an annual basis, we have to have an audit of our finances. And as we've done in previous years, we've asked Bowman and their Bowman and Associates to do the auditing. And today we have with us, representing Bowman, Ms. Carol McAllister. And I would ask Ms. McAllister to introduce herself to the board and community and proceed with her presentation. Ms. McAllister?
Thank you. Good evening, board members, Dr. Potteet, Mrs. Boyle, and members of the community. My name is Carol McAllister, and I am a partner with Bowman and Company. And we were engaged to do the audit for the Winslow Township Board of Education for the fiscal year end June 30, 2020. And that is what this report is based upon. First of all, I would just like to start out by thanking Dr. Potteet, Mrs. Boyle, all of the finance staff, and the staff at the Board of Education for all the help that they assist us with during the process of the audit itself. And then I want to follow up by indicating that there is an entire reporting package that's required to be submitted to the State of New Jersey Department of Education and the County Superintendent. All of those reports were submitted prior to the filing deadline of February 5th, 2021. That filing deadline was extended 2 months by the New Jersey Department of Education as a result of some information that's required to be prepared by the state that wasn't provided to the districts until a later time, in addition to these closures due to COVID-19. So all of the Board of Education entities had to wait for the state to issue this information. But we do have the information, we were provided it to us, and it is included within the audit report itself. I believe you have received a PDF copy of the CAFRA as well as the AMR report, and those are the 2 reports that are submitted to the State of New Jersey, as well as some uploads of some information and other information that is used to populate your budget for the future years. All of that information has been completed and submitted. And just to touch on some of the financial information in the audit report itself, on the summary synopsis of the report, it is indicated that the board did have an excess in operations of around $5.7 million. There was a transfer of funds into capital projects during the year, as there are certain capital projects that are still being undertaken by the board itself. In regards to the fund balance, which is the net income amount of the district, there are certain categories of fund balance that are allowed under the New Jersey Department of Ed rules. Total fund balance amount you'll see is $30 million. That's on page 85 of the CAFRA, but it's made up of a couple different components. The biggest component is that the district does have a capital reserve balance, and that amount is used to fund future projects so the district doesn't have to bond or get other sources of financing for capital projects that may occur going forward. And there's also a balance in a maintenance reserve. Again, there are certain restrictions on those amounts, but they can be used for future maintenance projects that the district wouldn't have to fund out of their current fund budget.
Mhm.
The district also is allowed a 2% of your total expenditures to be maintained in an unassigned fund balance, and that's a fund balance amount that the board can use at their discretion. The maximum allowed for that calculation is $2,629,000, and that's the amount that is recorded in the financial statements. There's also what's called excess surplus, so any amount over that 2%, less those restricted amounts that I mentioned, is required to be reserved as an excess surplus. So in the current year budget 2021, there's about $2.5 million that you've budgeted of this excess surplus. In the 21-22 budget, that amount is going to be required to be $3,218,000. So anything over that 2% of your fund balance amount has to be put into future years' budgets. And there's a calculation that's included at the end of the AMR report, again, based on a state calculation as to the amounts that need to be reserved in those amounts. In regards to the CAFRA itself, we audit many of the different processes of the district, including purchasing, payroll, revenues, receipts, and as well as doing a single audit. I'm pleased to report there were no audit findings included in the fiscal year 2020 audit report itself. You look through this document, 190 pages. The majority of those schedules are prepared by the finance office. So again, I want to thank them for preparing those schedules and the notes, updating the notes to financial statements. The only thing within that CAFRA itself that is Bowman and Company and my responsibility technically are the auditor's opinions. There's 3 auditor's opinions within the report itself. And again, as I mentioned, they are all unmodified. There are no qualifications. There are no modifications to a standard opinion. So the opinion states that the district is in compliance with the rules and regulations of the state of New Jersey and of the federal and state grants that you receive. And as well as we did not find any material misstatements as we went through the audit report itself. And what that means to the board is that you need to go through, accept that you've reviewed the findings and question cost section of the audit report, which begins on page, I apologize, page 186 of the actual CAFRA. You'll see that it does indicate there were no current year audit findings. So there is no corrective action plan that has to be adopted. All you need to do is acknowledge that you've reviewed the CAFRA and read through that particular section of the report.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions for me?
Board members, no questions? Thank you, Ms. McAllister. At this time, board members, I'm asking for a motion to approve the.
Excuse me, Madam President.
Yes.
I've included a motion within the business office section that will.
The cover?
Yeah, so
Okay.
when you get to the business office section, that's already in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Boyle.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Ms. McAllister.
So thank you all very much again. I appreciate everyone's help during the audit and have a great night. Everyone stay safe.
Thank you. You did the same.
Bye.
Thank you.
Mrs. Spitz,
Yes, Dr. Poteet.
just so that the board members in the community know, there is a review with the administration prior to report to the full board. And if there are any questions or concerns, Mrs. Boyle, myself, and Mrs. Chico sit with the auditors, go through the report in detail, and at that time, we address any questions that we have. So the reason there was no response tonight is because we've already been through the exit interview at this time. And I want to also thank Mrs. Boyle and the members of her various departments for an excellent job in preparing for this budget review. And of course, Mrs. Boyle for doing an outstanding job in keeping us financially settled and making sure that we meet all the requirements of the state. So again, just publicly, I want to thank Mrs. Boyle and her department for a job well done.
Thank you, Mrs. Boyle. It's always good to see a report where we have no corrective action plan attached to it. So again, thank you. and everyone who assisted you.
Thank you, Madam President.
Moving now, board members, to correspondence. Ms. Boyle, with there being
Yes,
any
Madam.
correspondence?
Yes, Madam President, we had a piece of correspondence. It's dated February 9th, 2021. It's addressed to Mr. Shaw and it's from the New Jersey School Boards Associations. It reads, Dear John, congratulations on your appointment to serve as a member on the New Jersey School Boards Associations, or NJSBA, Legislative Committee, representing Legislative District Number 4. The Legislative Committee is a standing committee of the NJSBA and is charged with adopting the advocacy action plan recommended to the NJSBA Board of Directors for each state legislative session. As a legislative committee member, you will engage in advocacy efforts at the grassroots level to advance the association's legislative agenda. The ability of the committee members to communicate with legislators as well as local school board legislative chairpersons is critical in advancing New Jersey School Board's goals. Your participation is also crucial in establishing a legislative network in your district. Communication regarding pending legislation and the need for action is a key function. Your willingness to accept this important assignment is greatly appreciated, and your participation is vital to the association's efforts. Thank you for your willingness to help NJSBA achieve its goals of advancing public education for all students in New Jersey. Sincerely yours, Michael R. McClure, President, and it's copied Dr. Lawrence Feinsod, Executive Director. Congratulations, Mr. Shaw.
Congratulations, Mr. Shaw.
Congratulations, Shaw.
We have one statement, Miss Boyle. I believe it's in the third paragraph. Could you read the first sentence of that third paragraph?
Yes, ma'am. Your participation is also crucial in establishing a legislative network in your district.
Yes. Mr. Shaw, may I suggest that in establishing your legislative network, I believe that a great place to start would be our Citizen Advisory Committee. So I just wanted to place that out there and let you know that certainly we are all here to assist, and it is great that you have been appointed there. Let me ask you, Mr. Shaw, on that committee, can you tell us how many board members across the state, or have they revealed that to you yet?
There's one member for each legislative district, and I believe 2 alternates.
Okay, so that's a large committee, because in the state of New Jersey, there are 40 legislative districts.
Yes, Madam.
So, Mr. Shaw, you do us proud.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Moving now, board members, I'm asking at this time for a motion to approve the minutes from our board meeting of February 10th, 2021, open session.
Motion to approve the board meeting minutes from February 10th, open session.
Blake, second.
Moved by Mr. Shaw, second by Mr. Blake. Would there be further questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blake?
Yes.
Ms. Dredden?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. McClendon?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas? Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
And Ms.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. Moving now, board members, to our committee reports. Would there be a report out of our athletic committee?
Yes, Madam President. The athletic committee met on February 18th. In attendance were Dr. Poteet, myself, and Mr. Whitaker. The topics of discussion were the boys basketball team is back in their season after the COVID shutdown on January 26th. they're back up in. The girls basketball team had a COVID shutdown on February 15th, so they will be shut down until the beginning of March. So that's unfortunate. The middle school boys basketball team was shut down due to a COVID contact. They should just have gotten back up and running this week.
Okay.
I will read it after I'm done talking about what our meeting was about. But there's a new Olympic conference protocol for winter sports. Our gym has a live stream camera installed in it. If the community would like, they can go on our website as of the 19th. Game schedules have been posted, so they can hit the links for like the boys basketball season, so they can see the live stream, or there's a link for the girls basketball live stream. And the camera that the district, thank you, Dr. Poteet, Mr. Whitaker, for putting the work in. This camera is absolutely amazing. It's a motion censored camera. It follows for the basketball team, it follows the ball back and forth. So you're constantly getting play-by-play action, watching the teams go up and down the court. It's the clarity, everything is just absolutely up-to-date technology, and it's amazing. So, and the winter track team is started February 1st. Girls volleyball and wrestling start March 1st, so the camera will be used to hopefully watch our wrestling team go at it when they start their matches, and they start their season March 1st. So, now the next thing I'm going to read is the Olympic Conference protocol. February 12th, 2021, in acknowledgement of Executive Order 194 set forth by the Governor's Office. The Olympic Conference will allow 2 parents, guardians per participating athlete of the home school to attend home events. This allowance will not apply to spectators from visiting teams. Spectators from visiting teams will not be permitted to attend the event. Spectators will be expected to exit immediately after the event. Important, each school district has the discretion to be more restrictive with their own facilities and flexibility to implement a spectator policy that they deem appropriate. You're now allowing 2 parents or guardians to our athletic events.
Oh.
So that concludes the athletic committee report.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you.
Moving now, board members. Is there a report out of our education committee?
Yes, there is, Madam President. Our meeting came to order at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, February 16th, 2021 via the district's WebEx platform. In attendance were District Liaison Dr. Dorothy Quacamo, Assistant Superintendent, board members, Ms. Martin, myself, and Ms. Kelly, and Ms. Julie Peterson, Education Committee Chair. The following items were discussed. Demographic: students, currently 4,704, classified 1,000, out of district 123, choice 427, vocational school 224. March 1st, 2021, we return to school. Number of students as of the January 15th, 2021 deadline, hybrid is 1,303. Number of teachers on family leave, 3. Fully remote, none. Possible unmet instructional needs, academic gap, underestimated the value of face-to-face to acclimation period of time as assessment. District is prepared with the following items for reopening of school Monday, March 1st, 2021. PPE materials, cleaning materials, screening device depending on the number of entries, and building readiness. Technology: A, Genesis Parent Portal. Differences since September 2020 with 3,640 assigned parent accounts with 2,237 accounts. District technology support. walkthrough with PA system, which is new, turn in Chromebooks for various season, unable to determine devices being dropped off at building locations at this time. District Technology Support Hotline is an 856-767-2850, extension 8570, or by emailing the tech department at winslow-schools.com. District plans for New Jersey statewide assessment. The New Jersey Department of Education announced on February 11th that it is postponing the planned start date of all assessments until April 5th, 2021. The New Jersey Department of Education is balancing efforts to prepare for all contingencies with providing districts with information as early as possible. Across the nation, states and schools are working to answer new and evolving questions about how to best provide statewide snapshots of student progress and growth while prioritizing the health, well-being, and safety of all students and educators. Funding is tied to the state assessment. Some tests must be monitored face-to-face. One using dynamic learning maps, year-end assessments for special education, and WIDA, non-speaking English. Our meeting adjourned at 4:16. The next committee meeting is scheduled for 3 p.m. Tuesday, March 16th, 2021.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Let me just go back with regards to the reports. Mr. Shaw, I'm sorry, I didn't ask once you gave your report whether or not board members had any questions for you. So I'm just moving on because it doesn't appear that they did. With regards to the Education Committee board members, would there be any questions or comments about the report out of the Education Committee? I just have one question for that, Ms. Martin, with regards to under technology, letter B, where it says number 5, that the district technology support hotline. So it's safe to assume that that is going to be placed on our website, on our district website?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Martin. Board members, any questions or comments with regards to the report out of our Education Committee? Hearing none, we're going to move on to our Marketing Committee, or should I say Marketing and Broadcasting Committee?
Thank you, Madam President. Marketing Committee met this past Tuesday, February 23rd. Meeting was called to order at 6:35 p.m. via WebEx. Attendees were Mr. Blake, Ms. Moore, Dr. Potee. We had a guest, Mr. Shaw, and myself, Ms. McClendon. We reviewed the January meeting minutes, and then we looked at a couple of our unfinished business that we have. So the first thing was our district Facebook page. As you can tell, we have been really promoting our Facebook page. This month was Black History Month. We are going to look at the end of the month, highlights of how each of our schools celebrated throughout the month. So we did not forget about Black History Month, but we wanted to sum it up at the end to kind of spotlight and highlight some of the things that our schools in the district have done.
Okay.
Starting next month in March, it is Women's History Month. So,
oh,
yes. So we have a treat for you. In March, we will spotlight women. Let me say this. We will spotlight Winslow Township Women of Excellence. So each day in March, we will be spotlighting a woman of excellence. So please check the Facebook page every day. You will probably be surprised by some of the things that you will see on our posting. So we are excited about that and ready to rock and roll with that as we look at some of the things that women in our township have done, and not just off a title, but just of the things that they've done to continue to make Winslow great. So we will do that throughout the month of March. Also in collaboration with our Athletic Committee, Mr. Shaw, chairperson. We are live streaming, as Mr. Shaw mentioned, so we will also be posting the live stream through our Facebook page. One of the things that we're doing as the marketing committee, in which I'll probably be talking to a lot of the chairs, but we will be tapping into our board member chairs of things that are going on within their committee so that they can be marketed if there's special things that are coming up. We want to definitely utilize our Facebook page with that, but also just kind of be in collaboration with each of the committees so that, you know, we can assist with areas that may require marketing, right?
Okay.
Another thing is that we have our upcoming town hall, March 17th. So this town hall meeting, we're going to do something different. The plan is to make it more personal and inviting. So through the WebEx video will be open to everyone, meaning that everyone will be on the WebEx. We're going to do breakout rooms. We have a little bit of fun that we're going to have, information, of course, and also we will still do the question and answer period. But, you know, we're going to make a slight change of how we normally do the town halls. But again, the purpose of it is to make it inviting, personal, and also just to do something different. So stay tuned for more information. Within our town hall, we are inviting board committee chairpersons to participate on the agenda. So again, I'll be reaching out to our board chairpersons just to kind of discuss a little bit more in detail with you guys. So think of some things right now that you may want to share with the in the town hall. We are limited to 5 minutes because we have a lot of committees, so definitely there will be a time limit on it, 5 minutes, but we're sure that whatever you bring is definitely going to be informative. So like I said, stay tuned for more information to follow. We will have stuff posted on the district website as well as our Facebook page. Superintendent Real Talk. We'll be moving to one Monday a month, which will be the third Monday of each month moving forward, starting in March at 6:30 p.m. You know, that too will be some, you know, exciting things going on with the principal, superintendent, Real Talk. A lot of feedback that we received is that a lot of people are enjoying that time within superintendent, having those intimate or informational discussions. So we definitely want to keep that moving along. And one of the things that we were doing, we know we were doing it every Monday out of the month, but since we are now going back into hybrid, we're going to at least just keep it going once a month.
Okay.
Who knows what Dr. Poteet has in his sleeve for the real talk with the superintendent, so, you know, tune into that as well. Lastly, we want to talk about the 20th anniversary for Edgewood becoming Winslow. Again, we will celebrate Winslow with a touch of Edgewood. Right now, we are looking for members of the last class of Edgewood and also members of the first class of Winslow. So if anyone has any information, any names that you can give us, any contact information, we are definitely looking to somehow include them within this 20th year anniversary. As you can tell, the marketing committee has a lot of things going on right now. We're definitely excited about the path that this committee has taken and a lot of the things that we have taken on. But we're excited about it. So for next month, we do have 2 meeting dates. One is March the 9th, will be our next meeting date at 5 o'clock, and then another one for March 16th. These meetings are to kind of ramp up in preparation for our upcoming town hall meeting. And meeting was adjourned at 8:10 p.m. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. McClendon. With regards to having read through your committee report and looking at the plans for the 20th anniversary, I've made some calls. I have two neighbors who have daughters who graduated, one the class of 2000, the other the class of 2001. And of course, they moved away, they have families, but when I contacted them, they were excited. And they said that they will be reaching out to as many of their classmates as they can. And they're really excited about the fact that we're going to do this celebration. So going forward, I think it's great.
Great. Well, Ms. Pitts, question for you. So is it any way we still can like maybe get their contact information? Because if for some reason we are still in the virtual world and we do it virtual, then it'll be something that if they would like to be a part of, we will still be able to make sure that they will be able to enjoy that evening with us.
You're absolutely right. And so therefore, I'm asking for a suggestion with regards to, as all of us begin to reach out to the graduates from the class of 2000, 2001, with regards to them responding to us, what do you think is the best way in which for them to contact us and give us their information, their contact information? Should we designate a particular board member specifically? Now I'm thinking in terms of the chairperson of the marketing committee, or should we have them contact our superintendent? I'm open, board members, for suggestions. That is, what's the best way as we begin to hear back from these graduates? What can we let them know exactly who they should contact?
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. Peterson.
is it possible that our chair of marketing can develop a Google Drive and share it with us? And once she shares it, we can update it when we come up with individuals with their name. I would start it for her, but if she has to maintain it, I'll do the Google Drive and set it up.
Okay, Ms. McClendon, how does that sit with you?
That's a good idea, Ms. Peterson. Marketing committee, are you guys, how does that sound? Are there any other suggestions or the Google Drive?
That's fine with me. I was actually going to suggest that they just email one of us, but if that's easier, that's fine.
Ms. Peterson, with the Google Drive, is that something that the marketing committee all would have access to?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I could even set it up or show you how to set it up where all the board members. So if the superintendent or assistant superintendent, if they come across someone, so that you would be able to look at that data and see how many. Every week you could look at it, or every couple of days you could look at it and see if it has grown.
Perfect. I think that's a good idea. Thank you for suggesting that.
So you want to set it up, or are you going to set it up?
I'll talk to you offline because I want to make sure that I'm clear as far as how it should be done, but we'll work together on it. Thank you.
And so certainly, of course, once you two have that conversation, you will let the administration know so that indeed it can be placed on our website and our Facebook page.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Any other further questions with regards to our report from the marketing committee? Pretty comprehensive, Ms. McClendon.
Thank you, Madam President.
Okay. Moving now to our Equity Equality Committee. Would there be a report out of our Equity Equality Committee?
No report, but I wanted to meet with the team on March 8th, which is a Monday at 5 o'clock. Ms. Peterson, Ms. Thomas, is that a good time for you guys?
Ms. Peterson, Ms. Thomas?
I'm checking my schedule.
Yes, me too. I actually work Monday nights. You said 5 o'clock?
I can work with you. We'll talk offline, but either the 8th or the 9th.
Okay. I mean, if we could do it a little later, that would be fine.
Okay, we could do it later.
That'd be good.
7 o'clock, is that late enough?
That's fine.
Okay. March 8th at 7.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
So So, Mr. Blake, so we can expect a report out of your committee at our March 10th meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Blake. Moving on to our negotiations committee, I believe that Mr. Long will have something to express to us later in executive session. Yes, thank you, Mr. Long. Moving on to our operations committee, would there be a report out of our operations committee?
Yes, Madam President. The Operations Committee met on Tuesday, February the 23rd, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. using WebEx. In attendance were Ms. Redden, that's my subcommittee chair, Ms. Pitts, board president. Also in attendance was Ms. Boyle, Ms. Chico, Mr. Mills. And the following items were discussed. 1, update on district projects. Mr. Mills provided an update on the public address and clock system, which is being fine-tuned and customized according to the need of the building principals. B, maintaining compliance with ELISA law. And C, progress with greenhouse. Work is scheduled to restart in March. 2, 2021-2022 budget development. A, state and aid figures are to be released by February the 25th. The tentative budget is due to the county office by March the 22nd. This may require a special meeting in March. B, Dr. Carcamo and Ms. Boyle met with the building principals to review their needs in the building. C, potential projects will be presented to the leadership team for consideration. 3, 2019-2020 audit. The 2020 audit report was completed and filed on time. There were no audit findings. Ms. McAllister and Bowings and Company will be presenting the report to the board for accepting the February 24th board meeting as she did earlier. 4, CARES Act. The district amend to grant to the grant was approved. A performance report has been prepared to be submitted. 5, new items. Uniform update. There has been no change. 2 applicants are still pending approval. The meeting adjourned at 6:12 p.m. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dredden. Ms. Dredden, at our operations committee meeting, I think that a question was asked about a safe screen and reporting with regards to another type of monitoring for safety. Ms. Boyle, I believe Mr. Mills made a statement, commented on what additional kind of safety devices that we have installed. I think he said, he mentioned about having devices set up in the hall that would flash blue. Can we just share with the board a little bit more on that? Ms. Boyle?
Yes, Madam President. I think we were talking about, that was the ELISA law compliance piece where
Right.
there are, right. So that's a system that's in the buildings. There's lights that are up. You'd have to pull the and it sends out a signal directly to the police. And so that is in compliance with the ELISA law. So that was covered under that reporting section. They are in place, they are functioning, and the signal goes out directly to the police. There is some fine tuning in terms of who gets what signal, you know, where you want it to go. So the principals are working out that fine tuning in conjunction with Dr. Carcamo and the monitoring company.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Boyle.
You're welcome, Madam President.
Board members, any questions, comments on our report out of our operations committee?
I just have a question, Madam President.
Yes.
Ms. Redden, with the new clock systems that were installed around the district, does that have a speaker as well? Is there a speaker built into it?
Oops.
Did we lose Ms. Stratton? You don't want to talk to me, Ms. Stratton? We lost Ms. Stratton.
She's circling, so I think
Yes, she's circling.
She,
she's
well,
circling.
I thought it was an excellent idea for the installation of all those clocks in the district. That was definitely something that caught my eye. So, you know, definitely a good thing. But I just wonder, I think there is a speaker, but I just wanted to confirm that there's a
Yes.
speaker built within it as well.
Yes, Mrs. McClendon, there is, the PA systems, of course, will have speakers in every classroom throughout all the hallways, so that whenever there's an announcement, general announcement or emergency procedures, everyone in the building, wherever they are, will hear that announcement. So yes, upgrading the speakers along with the clocks with that PA system was part of what we wanted with that change. So we pretty much upgraded from what we had in previous years. So speakers are all over the building.
There's
Okay.
definitely a difference. The sound is clear and, you know, definitely a difference. So,
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Drayton? I think she's still trying to join us. Okay, all right, board members, moving on to our policy committee. The February meeting of the policy committee will be held tomorrow, Thursday, February 25th at 4 p.m. and it will be WebEx. Dr. Carcamo? Dr. Carcamo?
Yes, Mrs. Pitts.
Dr. Carcamo, can you just briefly share with the board the number of policies? I believe you said that we have quite a few that we will be reviewing at our meeting tomorrow.
So I think we will have at least 15.
Woo. Okay.
We have at least 15 policies. Oh, excuse me. So, Mrs. Pitts, you will receive all of that via email. Everything will be finalized, okay?
Okay, thank you. So board members, policy committee members, pack your patience because it's going to be interesting. Okay. All right, moving now to our Citizens Advisory Committee. Ms. Martin, would there be any report from that committee?
No report, but we will be meeting next Thursday at 7 p.m.
Okay.
So,
What I would like the board to know is just remind you that at our last meeting, we indicated that the 4 questions that were submitted to us would be posted on our website, our district's website, and they were. However, only 3 were posted. The 4th one was not posted because that is one that was actually already answered. And so, but the 3 questions were posted just as a point of information. Okay. Board members, moving
Madam
now.
President, I have a question.
Yes, yes.
Just want to know, with the CAC committee, has there been any interested parties from the Chislehurst area as far as additional CAC members being added? Has there been any interest from that area?
as of this time, there has been none that I've received.
But I think Dr. Poteet can give you just an update on what he's done
Yes.
with regards to outreach.
Yes, I called the president of the school board, Mrs. Little, in Chislehurst, and Mrs. Chislehurst apologized, excuse me, Mrs. Little from Chislehurst apologized to me, excuse me, because she said that that is something that she really would like to have a member from their community to be a part of. She said that she will take her time to personally ask members of their community so that they can have representation. That conversation took place last week. So she said she would get back to me as soon as she gets someone, but she will definitely work diligently to find someone to participate because that's something she would like to be a part of.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Martin, when is, I'm sorry, again, could you just tell us when is the next Citizen Advisory Committee?
The next Citizen Advisory meeting is next Thursday at 7 p.m. via Zoom.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Martin.
You're welcome.
Moving now, board members, at this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve the superintendent's report that begins at the bottom of page 1 of our agenda and continues through to the top of page 5. Is there a motion?
Motion, Shaw.
Blake, second.
Moved by Mr. Shaw, second by Mr. Blake. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas, Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
and Ms. Pitts.
Yes.
The motion is carried.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. Board members, moving now to our Business Administrator Board Secretary's report. I'm asking for a motion to approve that report as it begins the middle of page 5 and it continues through to the bottom of page 11. Is there a motion?
Motion, Shaw.
Blake, second.
Moved by Mr. Shaw, second by Mr. Blake. Would there be further comments or questions?
Question, Madam President.
Yes, Ms. McClendon, yes.
Just looking at page 11, number 16,
Yes.
just was wondering, I guess reasoning for the reissuance, was there a problem with look at the list, there's a long list of checks, so I was just wondering, did something happen with that for the amount of numbers of checks that were?
If I may, Ms. McClendon, those are old outstanding payroll checks that the
Okay.
employees never cashed.
Oh,
And so they've been,
wow.
yes.
That's a lot of money.
So we did reach out we sent notices out to each one and they said they did not cash them. So they had to give us something back saying that they never negotiated the item. Some may have thought that they were direct deposits and that it wasn't a live check. It was just a stub when in fact it's a live check. But these persons have returned the notice, so we're going to stop. Matter of fact, the stop payment has been placed. And we're going to reissue, but we like to have a record of that. So, and you can tell it's over years. It's not.
Yeah.
From
The
17.
6 months with the banks, they won't, 6 months.
They won't
cutoff time.
negotiate them.
Right. Oh, okay. I was just wondering because I saw the whole listing and I was just kind of just wanted to know what was going on with that list. But thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions or comments? All right, this report has been moved in second. Roll call, please.
Okay. Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw, Ms. Thomas, Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
and Ms. Pitts.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Boyle. Board members, I'm now at the top of page 12. I'm asking for a motion to approve the personnel report that begins at the top of page 12 and continues through to the bottom of page 14. Is there a motion?
Motion, Shaw.
Blake, second.
Moved by Mr. Shaw, second by Mr. Blake. Would there be further comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas, Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
and Ms. Pitts.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Bull. Board members, moving now to our addendum, and I believe that we all did receive our addendum by way of our email. And is there anyone that would need a little bit more time to look it over? Okay. At this time, board members, on our addendum, I'm asking for a motion to approve the superintendent's report that begins and ends on page 1. Is there a motion?
Motion, Shaw.
Blake, second.
Moved by Mr. Shaw, second by Mr. Blake. Further comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
and Ms. Pitts.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you, Ms. Bull. Continuing on our addendum, board members, I'm asking for a motion to approve the Business Administrative Board Secretary's report that begins at the bottom of page 1 and continues through to the bottom of page 2. Is there a motion?
Motion Shaw.
Moved by Mr. Shaw. Is there a second? There's no second?
Can't hear him.
Can't hear you.
Blake, second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Shaw, second by Mr. Blake. Further comments or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Aha.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes.
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
and Ms. Pitts.
Yes,
Motion is carried.
thank you. Thank you very much. Board members, moving now to our Open Public Records Act request.
Yes, Madam President. We had several. The
Okay.
first one was from Barbara Richards. She requested the bid tabulation sheet for bid number 2021-05, which was elementary online guided reading programs. That document was provided. We received a request from James Roberts. He requested mailroom records for the 2020 tax year in relation to the postage meter lease agreement. That request was denied because we do not have a lease agreement for our postage machine. Third one was from Ms. Nueves. She wanted the number of students who have utilized the school choice option for the past 5 years by grade level, year, and demographic. The grade level and year were provided to her. The demographic was not, because those records aren't maintained. The fourth one was from Ms. Nueves. She requested a complete accounting of all CARES money, how it was spent, any money not spent, and what it's intended for. That request was approved and the document submitted. Fifth one was from Ms. Nueves. She requested the number of Winslow students enrolled in Camden County Technical School each year, going back 5 years, and the amount that the district paid to Camden County Technical School each year. Those records were provided and the request was approved. And then the sixth one was from Ms. Nueves. She wanted to know how many teachers made a request for medical exemption to return to in-person learning and how many were granted. That request was approved and the information was provided.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Bull. Moving now to old business. Would there be any old business board members that you would care to discuss at this time? Let me just I just have a few statements, board members. I would just want to remind us that at our next regularly scheduled board meeting, which will take place on March 10th, that Terry Lewis, our NJSBA representative, will be coming in and she will conduct a training session with us. The topic will be roles and responsibilities of board members and also the superintendent's evaluation. In addition to that, board members, you should know that there is a request, I believe, from Dr. Carcombe as it relates to our annual school board picture that we take, that's usually placed, of course, in the yearbook. However, the request this year is that because of us having to maintain social distance, that we are being asked individually to come in and take the picture. Now, Dr. Carcombe, would you want to just add to that information?
Yes, Mrs. Spitz, if we could have the board members report to the administration building we'll have someone there who can take a picture. We're looking to have the same background, and we have, a nice area that we think will make for a nice backdrop. Would that be possible?
So board members, do you have any questions with regards to that schedule?
What is the schedule at, like, what times and what dates?
That was gonna be my
So-
question too.
So we can start as early as Friday, and we really would like to have this completed by next Wednesday. Would that be a problem? The day would be open. We can do from 9 to 3 if that works.
That won't work for me.
Okay, well, what will work for you, Mr. Shaw?
I don't,
Do you want to have a conversation later and let us know, see how we can work things out?
yes, please.
Okay, we can do that. Okay, anyone else have a problem? Thank you.
Okay, we're clear? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Carcamo. Lastly, board members, what I would just like to mention to you is this, that in speaking with Ms. Boyle with regards, of course, we know we're heading in the season of budget, and that's important. We have to have budget hearings. Therefore, we are going to schedule a special meeting, I'm calling a special meeting for Thursday, March 18th. It should be a brief meeting because the only topic that will be discussed will be the budget. So if you can mark your calendars, it's probably going to be easy to remember because it's the day after our town hall meeting, right?
Madam President?
Yes, Ms. Moore.
I have, and I believe Ms. Thomas does also, the governance one on the 18th. We have it 3 Thursdays in a row.
Right, and what time is that?
You know what? I have to check.
It's in
Do
there.
you know, Kelly, what time it is?
You know what? Mine, I got an email canceling that, the governance one, because there were so many people that, registered.
Okay.
So there were 2 other options for, online training. So I do, you know what? Actually, I may still have it in my calendar, but I do believe it started at 7.
I thought 7 too.
Yeah, but I actually took it out of my calendar when I received that email.
Okay.
But I guess I can go back. We can go back and look and let you know, Mrs. Pitts.
Okay, so Ms. Moore, Ms. Thomas, it appears that that particular session for governance one may have been canceled. But let me say this.
I did not get an email telling me that.
Okay, all right. Well, it's again, you probably, hopefully you will. But let me say this, Ms. Thomas, Ms. Moore, if in the event that certainly it conflicts with your training, we certainly will understand.
Okay.
Okay?
Madam President, I just received a notification. Ms. Moore is still scheduled. Ms. Thomas was rescheduled.
Oh, I see.
Okay, and it's from 7 to 8:30.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, Ms. Moore, we totally understand that you won't be able to join us.
Okay.
Madam President, what time were you planning? Because I have a workshop that I have to present from 6 to 7:30.
From 6 to 7:30. That I've scheduled. I was thinking to have it our regular meeting time, which is 6:30.
I'm gonna have to get back to you because it's been on my calendar and I'm doing it for the college. So.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Anyone else? Okay, so for now, we will schedule that special meeting to discuss the budget on Thursday, March 18th at 6:30. Okay? Any other questions or comments? Old business? Okay, moving now, board members, to new business. Would there be any new business you would care to discuss at this time? Let me say this, let me share this with you, board members. On February 12th, my husband and I were able to go to Camden County College, the Blackwood campus, to receive our shots. And the whole event was excellent. Our appointments were at 9:30, we got there at 9 o'clock. At 9:30, we were back in our cars going home. I was so impressed that I gave a call to the mayor, and I also called Dr. O'Teague because my thoughts were this: that was so coordinated and so very well orchestrated that I thought that if possible, if we here in our district could offer a site so that Camden County Public Health could come in and offer these shots to all of our staff. So I placed a call to the mayor. The mayor said, that sounds like a good idea. He said, but before I call the public health, I would need to know how many people we're talking about. So then I placed a call to Dr. Poteet. I shared my thoughts with him. He also said it sounded like a good idea. And with regards from our teachers, all across the board to our bus drivers, we're talking about 600 people. And so I then placed the call back to the mayor, and the mayor said that he would take that up and find out exactly what could be done. In addition to that, I spoke to a former freeholder. She also thought it was a good idea. She said the only thing that she could see why we could not do it is that the college would not have enough medical personnel to come out. So I just wanted to say that, board members, is that that's what the thought that I have to certainly assist our community, specifically our school district, with making sure that we all get our vaccinations. So that was just the information that I wanted to share with you. Okay, moving now. No further new business. Dr. Poteet, informational items?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, I do have several information items for this evening. Excuse me. I would like to start, as I normally do on our meetings, and giving the community an update on the COVID-19 cases in our area. As of today, Camden County, we had 78 confirmed cases, which brings our number to 38,918 confirmed cases. Winslow Township had 5 confirmed cases today, which brings our total to 2,932 cases. On the flip side of that, South Jersey is now in the moderate range, which is yellow. We are no longer in the orange, which was the high range.
Wow, that was quick.
Yellow, which in the moderate range. And the positivity rate in Camden County is now 5.5%.
Oh, that's dropping. That has dropped significantly.
Considerably.
Yes.
They would like to attribute that to one, of course, the community maintaining all the safety aspects of social distancing. A lot of people are getting their shots. So they like to believe that it is a combination of things. And they are encouraging us, in as much as things beginning to look much better, but do not let your guard down. Still continue to do all those things that got us to this point. And hopefully this time next year, we would be already into a full normal year of schooling for our young people. One of the things that's happening with the Camden County Superintendent, Dr. Pugh Bassett, shared with us through the Camden County Health Department, just for our county at this point, if there are any teachers, and we just beginning to get that information as I speak, if there are any teachers in any of our school districts with a pre-existing health issue that has already scheduled for a shot, to provide them with, name, address, pertinent information, we will send it to the link once it is set up by Camden County College, and those individuals possibly their date could be moved up significantly. So once all that is in place, I'll make that available to the teaching staff here in Winslow. And if there are any teachers with a pre-existing health issue who already had a scheduled date, and that scheduled date could be May, June, or whatever it is that's so far out, if they would like to have the opportunity to have that date pushed up, I would provide them with that information. There's certain information they would have to provide me with, nothing personal, of course, send it to the link that we have, we'll be setting up, and hopefully we can get more teacher service through the process. So that's just another way we're trying to get as many people vaccinated as possible. All right. One of the things many of the members of the community, as well as school board members, have been waiting for, and that is the CM3 HVAC report. They have completed all of their work. All the repairs have been completed in our schools, and we now have in our possession the final report certifying all the classrooms in the Winslow Township School District have received their repairs. 100% of the HVAC systems have been cleaned, they have been repaired. Motors have been placed in those that needed motors. So all the work that needed to be done to get us certified to reopen our schools, I had that report prior to the teachers arriving on Monday. And the Core Mechanical, the company that came in and dealt with the pneumatic systems, all of that work has been done and completed. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say our schools are in a better position now than they've ever been in because of the magnitude of the work. And we're talking about every classroom, every unit was pulled apart, cleaned and repaired. Motor was placed, air purifier was placed in each one of those systems. And we are circulating cleaner air now than we've ever done before. Of course, it came at a price tag, as we talked about at our last meeting, but it was worth it. And at this point, that work has been completed, and I'm comfortable in being able to say that our buildings are safe for the return of our staff and students, of course, who will be returning on Monday. The state postponed the state assessment, as was already mentioned through the Education Committee. It has been moved to April. As the Education Committee also mentioned that the governor filed for a waiver of that state assessment. But what we are hearing as of today, that the federal government may deny all of those waivers and make each of the states do if a modified version of the assessment or some type of assessment. But at this point, it appears that the federal government is leaning toward each state doing some type of assessment at the end of the school year. So at this point, I'm not sure how that's going to eventually play itself out, but we will be monitoring that very closely. As I mentioned earlier, in reference to the repairs, the teachers arrived on Monday, all but a handful who have medical excuses. We have had close to 98% of all of our teachers, if not 99% of all of our teachers who showed up Monday and Tuesday. Today was a full remote day for us, as according to our plan. We are making the needed adjustments, and one of the best things we could have done was have the teachers come in early so we can deal with any adjustments and modifications that need to be done, and we'll have those things taken care of before the students arrive on Monday. But as we prepare ourselves for Monday, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's some reminders that I would like to review for those parents whose children who will be attending school on Monday. All students must be wearing a mask when they board the bus. So at the bus stop, before they board the bus, they must have on a mask. Those young people who do not have a mask, bus drivers will have masks on those buses, as well as hand sanitizing, so that we're turning no one away because of a mask. We will have masks available for all the students if they do not. But we are asking everyone to please show up at the bus stop wearing a mask. Masks must be worn while in school, and of course, that is mandatory. One important note, because one of the parents asked me during one of the real talks with the superintendent about lunch and things of that sort. As a reminder, free breakfast and lunch is available to all of our students until the end of the school year. So the parents, you don't have to worry about packing a lunch. Our lunch menu is on the district's website. And if you want to go on and see what's being made available to the children on a daily basis, and if one day or two you decide that you want to pack your child's lunch, you may do so. But free lunch is available to all the children in the Winslow Township School District for the entire school year. That also changes when we will be providing pickup for free breakfast and lunch, particularly for those young people whose families are still on full remote, but pickup will still be the same days for those children who are only in school on Monday, Tuesday. So we have pickups for those for 3 days. So we still have the same times. The day will change. Wednesday is the day for all free breakfast and lunch pickups starting Monday. So Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at schools 3 and at the high school, and from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at school 3. Wednesdays will be our only day for pickup. And if you are full remote on Wednesdays, the parents can pick up enough food until the next Wednesday. For those who are in school on Mondays and Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, they can pick up food for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as well as Saturday, Sunday, because we provide food over the weekends for all of our parents. Most of our parents already know that, who participate in our free breakfast and lunch program, because that information has already been shared with them at our most recent pickup. It will be reiterated again tomorrow. But we just want our parents to remember that breakfast and lunch is free to all of our students. However, if you want your child to purchase a snack during that time, snacks will be available a la carte. You can even have your child bring money, you can send a check, or they can go to mymealtime.com, as you've always done, and provide monies for snacks. But other than that, there will be meals available every day for all of our children. All safety protocols, ladies and gentlemen, parents, will be followed and strictly enforced. Teachers' temperature checks will be taken every day. We have scanners in our lobbies for our teachers for temperature checks on a daily basis. Hand sanitizer stations are now available throughout all schools. Bathrooms will be cleaned every half hour on the hour in all of our schools. Hand sanitizers and wipes are available in every classroom. Social distancing will be enforced in the classroom, the hallways, in the cafeteria, and any other spaces in the buildings where students will assemble. If a staff or student becomes ill and have symptoms that could be, now we want to make it clear, ladies and gentlemen, every time someone gets sick doesn't mean they have COVID. But in any school, in a normal setting, children get sick. They will go to the nurse. However, if those symptoms are of a concern, we do have an isolation room in all of our schools. We will isolate those students who may have particular symptoms, contact a parent so that child can be picked up. Staff members will be asked to leave immediately. We will take care of all the other pertinent coverages. We do have isolation rooms in all of our schools so that we will continue to make sure that our staff and students are safe. If a staff or student is tested positive, contact tracing will take place immediately by the Camden County Department of Health. All parents in that school, if that person tests positive, all parents in that school will be notified. For those parents who intend to send their children to school for the 4th marking period in April, I encourage all of you to please contact your building principal by March the 29th. We will be doing robocalls. We'll be sending out information a little later in March as a reminder to all parents. We'll have a link either at the school site or on our district website for parents to make sure that they register their children for April if you intend to send your child back to school for face-to-face instruction for the 4th marking period. At this time, Madam President, members of the board, the school district, we're ready to receive our students on Monday, and we'll welcome those students and parents back to school. It's been nearly a year in which we've had the opportunity for those parents who want their children to have face-to-face instruction. We're, for the first time in nearly a year, we're able to provide that option as required to us, not only by you as a school board, but required to us by the State Department of Education, that we provide options for our children in the community. That concludes my informational items, Madam Chair. If there are any questions from the members of the board, I will address them at this time.
Dr. Poteet, I didn't have a question, but I did want to say thank you to the principals for being so gracious and hosting us on our tours of the buildings. Personally, I toured the high school and school 4, and Mr. Morella and Ms. Clement were very, very helpful. They answered all of our questions, showed us anything we wanted to see, and it was a good experience.
Okay, good. Well, thank you. I'll pass that on to the building principals.
Ms. Pitts. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Shaw.
No, it's I just wanted to concur with Ms. Moore, because I got the tour of the high school and school 1, and Mr. Morella and Miss Galloway, you know, they went through everything with us that we wanted to see, wanted to know. They showed us everything that was prepared for reopening to the hybrid model, and it left us, you know, fully, you know, prepared to answer, you know, the community that, you know, and show that we're 100% ready. And, you know, it just, including everything with the Alyssa's Law and all the stuff that we've been getting ready for. So kudos to everybody. You know, unfortunate that I couldn't see more schools, you know, because the work that's been done and the diligence that's been going on with, from the HVAC upgrades to make, you know, to just the staff that, you know, works every day in the school to make sure that the sanitation and everything that's going on for COVID, the hard work every day. It's just amazing that, you know, to just keep working, you know, the work that we're doing is just amazing. Congratulations on everybody with all the hard work.
And thank you, Mr. Shaw. We appreciate it.
And I just wanted to add, same thing with Ms. Moore and Mr. Shaw. I did go to school number 1, school number 4, school number 5, and the high school, and I was impressed with all the schools. It seemed like everything had a protocol, a procedure. I know there was some talk in the community about certain schools not bringing technology into the buildings. I had a conversation with one of the principals, and the principal explained the reasoning behind not bringing technology, and the reasoning, to me, it made so much sense. I like that I like that that principal gave options for both students and staff about looking at their assignments without using technology. I thought it was pretty dope.
I'm sorry, you thought it was pretty what, Mr. Blake?
It was pretty decent.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Blake. Thank you, Mr. Blake.
Sorry.
That's a Gen Z term.
Believe me, I understand it.
Well, Mr. Blake, thank you. I just want to say on behalf of the staff, because a lot of those people, many of the people in the community would never see them. Those people who work behind the scenes. A lot of work over the past year and doing everything from soup to nuts. We have, of course, big ticket items that everybody's aware of. I'm quite sure now they know about the new PA systems in all of the schools. The cleanliness, the people were in there, clean the buildings every day, even when you didn't have but the office staff there. They're going around making sure the high touch items are being cleaned. on a regular basis, just so that we can assure the parents who want their children to come to school on Monday that we're prepared and we've done everything we possibly could to keep those children safe, as well as the staff. And so I want to commend those individuals for their hard work and their commitment to making sure these things are done. And also for their patience, because yes, there are times when my approach wasn't as professional as it should have been. But they were able to get that work done, and we're going to continue to do whatever we can, whatever needs to be done, whatever someone says it's not to its performance status. We are making those corrections. We've upgrading our gigabytes and all those kinds of things. So yes, there's a lot of work that's been done out there by a lot of people, and I just want to thank all of those individuals and thank you for being there and acknowledging and seeing those things. And then on the other hand, board members, thank you for providing us with the resources so that we can get those things done. Because you approved all the things we brought before you, regardless of the cost. So I want to thank you for providing us with the resources, because I think at this point, we are in a better place. There were a lot of my colleagues who did not have the resources to do the things that we were doing. So I think we've been fortunate here in Winslow that we've been able to get these things done for our children. So board members, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Poteet. I think I can comfortably say that we are Winslow and that we care. And that we care.
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. Peterson.
I still want to say kudos to the administrative team. Yes, the board provided the wherewithal for the resources, but if they weren't fiscally sound, we would not have made it. I said this last time, 1.1 million for this project, 600,000 for textbooks, and to get this audit report with no findings, that speaks volumes.
It does.
A type of individuals we have here at Winslow. And I did some research on other school districts within Camden County, asking how much work did they do on their HVAC systems and everything else. I found very few that can compare to that price, 1.1 million. So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
That's it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good stewardship. Good stewardship. We're all in this together, folks.
Madam President.
Madam President.
Madam
Yes, Mr.
President.
Clinton.
Oh,
No.
I'm sorry. Okay. Somebody else talking?
I was. Ms. Redden was.
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Redden. I'll go after you.
Okay, I just want to say also that I was very proud of all our schools, but I toured the middle school and Ms. Wanguma showed me, and I want to give kudos to her with her and her staff. I mean, the school smelled immaculate. It was smelled so clean. Every room, everywhere I walked through the whole, through the building. But I liked how she told me they were doing videos to train the children about how to walk, keep to the right and stuff like that. And I like too how she showed me too, even in the cafeteria, it was only 2 children per table. And she also showed me the what you call them, those shields. They're going to have shields in some of the different rooms for the children because of, but also the teachers won't be even eating in their room. They'll be eating in their classroom.
Okay.
So it's a lot going on. And I just want to thank you, Dr. Poteet, all the work that your staff, finance, you name it, that has done for our school of Winslow. We're very proud of you.
Ms. McClendon?
Yes, just wanted to add, I had an opportunity also to tour a lot of the schools, 1, 4, 5, and the high school. And one of the things that Mr. Blake had mentioned about the Chromebooks, it got to the point where the principal kind of broke it down and displayed how it would even work from beginning to end with both having the computer and having students, in person. It was so crisp and clear. I was ready to sit down and have class because it was so well explained. And so when we left from there, I was, more, I want to say satisfied with, the reasoning behind it. at least for that principal, how they broke it down and shared it with us. Another thing we did, we had a chance to see the nurses' rooms, which are very well established and prepared for anything that may arise. So that was good to see as well. Lastly, just closing out for Black History Month, just want to thank Ms. Clement in school number 4 for allowing me to participate in their short videos. I was definitely excited to be able to find a short video and allow, present it to them so they can share it with the students. Also, School 3, Principal Floyd, Ms. Floyd, and Ms. Johnson in the first grade class. Shout out to them. Thank you for inviting me to participate in your class. We did a short video and then had a nice discussion. It's exciting when, one, you share some of our extraordinary Black figures with our students, especially when they've never heard of them. And the person that I shared was Sojourner Truth. She was definitely a great, extraordinary woman who made a lot of sacrifices and contributions, and opened a lot of doors that we have now. So the kids were excited, and I just want to say thank you for those invitations. And again, thank you, Ms. Johnson, and shout out to your first grade students.
Okay, Ms. McClendon. Ms. Moore. Ms. Moore, I want you to stand up and take a bow. And I'll tell you why. Because it was at your suggestion that your fellow board members do the tour. And as you can see, the result of that suggestion. So thank you so much, Ms. Moore, for bringing that, putting that on the table so that we could do that.
You're welcome.
Moving now, board members, public comment. The Winslow Township Board of Education highly values the input of citizens in making important decisions that affect the children of our community. We also believe in the rights of citizens to observe our board meetings, to ensure that all citizens have the opportunity to call into our school board meetings and offer comment, and to ensure that the board can conduct the important business of the district. We ask that speakers and calls follow these guidelines for making public comments. The board president or board secretary will recognize those individuals who have called in. Please respect the following procedures. Number 1, all members of the public attending school, calling into our school board meetings must treat each other and the board with respect. Number 2, kindly, please state your full name and address. Number 3, please limit your comments to 4 minutes. Number 4, please submit your questions that may not have gotten answered this evening to the Board of Education with your name, address, and telephone number where you can be contacted. Your questions will be answered within a reasonable amount of time. And number 5, individuals offering citizen comment are not permitted to make personal attacks on a district employee, board member, other testifier, or member of the public. And before I ask for a motion to open this up, I would like to remind all callers to please mute or turn down whatever devices you may have that will cause background music. And again, I would like to ensure our public that this evening that we have taken steps to make sure that we can all comfortably communicate with one another. So therefore, board members, at this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve opening our meeting to public comment.
Motion, Shaw.
Blake, second.
Moved by Mr. Shaw, second by Mr. Blake. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
Mhm.
We have a new method where we're going to introduce callers right into the meeting. They'll be able to join us, make their comment, and then when they're done, we can move them out and then
Okay.
introduce the next one. Currently, there's nobody waiting.
Okay. Well, board members, anything you want to say? Are you tired of the snow? Does anyone still have snow on their lawn? This is the 24th. I still have some snow on my lawn. It's
Have
been
ice.
there since February 1st. Is that possible?
Yep, I have
Okay,
ice on.
I have a snow globe that I don't want to see anymore. I don't want to see any snow globes. They're no longer fun.
I did have a question.
Yes, Ms. Moore.
Especially for the younger children, I guess actually not for the younger children, the children who will be changing classes during the day. Who's going to wipe down the desk? I know it's probably already been dealt with, but it was just something I wanted to ask about. Like, who's going to make sure that those desks are sanitized or whatever in between classes?
Madam President, can I speak?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well, I know in the middle school, they already have it set up for, as the children leave, they are being trained how to wipe their desks down.
Ah.
And then for every next child to come into the class, they'll have to do the same thing, but they're training them how to do so. So they have everything right there for them to write, because they're the only ones who will be at their desks.
Right.
So they'll be wiping their desks down, and then the next come in and they'll wipe theirs down. So it'll be a repeated thing.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Dredney. You took part of my response because I wanted to say, first of all, it is humanly impossible to have someone to go in every classroom, every period, to wipe down every seat. So we are asking for the assistance of the students, particularly the older students. Most of the younger students are going to be self-contained.
Right.
And of course, the social distancing in the classroom will require that. Then on the other hand, if you have X number of chairs, then you can assign the first group in chairs A, and then the next group will come in, will sit in chairs B. That's why teachers will have seating charts. And just like whenever we would go somewhere, we knew where we sat. No one had to tell us where your seat was. You would go there automatically. So once the children get used to coming in and out of their classroom, they will know where their chair is. That's where they will sit every day, and it will become their property. So we do appreciate the help that we're getting, and and allowing those young people to, at least for those who are old enough, big enough to do that, we're asking for that assistance, and we thank them for that assistance. And we also want the parents to know that just that little bit of assistance goes a long way. So that's what we're trying to do. And each classroom have a container of wipes with the sanitation or the sanitizing solution. And of course, each classroom have hand sanitizers and that. So it's just a matter of us providing the materials for that to be done.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have two callers. I'm going to introduce the first one.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome, caller. You have to mute your device. And welcome, caller. You
Hello.
joined the public comment section of the board meeting. If you would state your name and address and spell your name, please, and then you can make your public comment.
Good evening. My name is Chevelle Higgs, SHEVELLHIGGS. And my
Welcome,
address
Ms.
is
Higgs. Okay, give your address.
19 Oak Hollow Lane.
You may make your comment, Ms. Higgs.
Hi, I am the Winslow Township High School Senate President. I'm speaking tonight on behalf of the student body of the high school. I'm respectfully requesting permission for the high school to have prom this year. While the seniors have been deprived of most of their year, the total senior experience has also been stolen for them. Being that last year's prom was canceled, the class of 2021 has not had the opportunity to attend a prom, and prom is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Although COVID precautions and event attendance sizes seem to change weekly, there are numerous precautions that could be taken in order to make prom happen. For example, the prom could take place outside and masks could be mandatory. The student body is open to out-of-the-box alternatives to the usual junior and senior prom. High schools in the surrounding districts have already secured venues with backup plans in place. They have made changes to their prom attendance eligibility, such as making it senior only or no outside guests. And the student body, especially the senior class, are ready to take the necessary precautions to make prom happen this year and are ready to work on the next steps if the request to host this year's prom is accepted. Time is of the essence as vendors need to be secured and gowns need to be purchased and the plan needs to be put to action. Thank you for listening.
Ms. Higgs, let me just respond to that. With regards to the prom, as it relates to the board, we're fully prepared for whatever administration in your high school presents to us. Because all of us, I think I can speak for all of us, we've had senior proms. Some of us a little longer ago than others. But here again, the board is prepared, and I'll also turn this over to Dr. Poteet to do whatever the high school brings before us. Dr. Poteet?
Yes, Mrs. Higgs, first of all, let me thank you for calling. The reason we are here is because of you. We will do whatever we can to make that happen. I have had conversations with Mr. Morella over the course of a few months. I think there was a caller that came in and asked us about prom. I want you to have a prom. And I want you to have a safe prom. And if we can do one outdoors, and if the governor continues to lift and ease the restrictions, we can possibly do some other things. But I don't want you to leave here tonight thinking that this body made up of board members and administrators do not care and do not want that to happen for you and your classmates. We do want that to happen. And Mr. Morell and I, my administrative leadership team, whatever we can do to make that work for you, we will. I will call Mr. Morella tomorrow morning. I would ask Mr. Morella to reach out to you in your capacity, and maybe we can virtually sit down and talk to you guys about what it is you want to do, what ideas you have, and see if we can incorporate that. Now, I need you to correct me if I'm wrong. I thought we secured a venue for you guys last year, because that's something we have to do a year in advance in order to get a venue. But I don't want to overspeak, but I thought that was something that was done, that we've already taken care of venue for you guys. But if that's not the case, but I'm more than certain that it is, why don't we just get together? I'll have Mr. Morella reach out to you and see whatever we can come up with, and you can put all your ideas and suggestions on the table, and let's see what we can work out. Because I really, as Mr. Morella and the administrative team at the high school, we really want you guys to have a prom. We really do. All right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, thank you, caller. Okay, I'm going to bring in the next caller. All right. Good evening, caller. You have joined the Board of Ed meeting, the public comment section. If you would state your name and address, and then you can make your comment to the board. And if you would be so kind as to spell your name, that would be helpful.
My name is Maria Clark, M-A-R-I-A. Clark is C-L-A-R-K, no E. I'm a teacher in the district for over 20 years now. I'm also a member of the Winslow Township Education Association. Good evening, board members and Dr. Poteet. I'm calling tonight on behalf of teachers throughout this district. I have to say, most of them are afraid to speak up in fear of retaliation. We went into the buildings this week to teach remotely, and there were so many issues. Some buildings lost power, Google Meet shut down, many kids and teachers even lost connection completely. This interrupted instruction multiple times throughout the day and throughout the district. So many of our members went out and purchased their own tools and equipment to make teaching remotely as effective as possible. However, returning to the buildings, the district supplied us teachers with a student Chromebook and a desktop with no microphone or camera. The capability of these Chromebooks are very limited. We need more effective devices and a stronger internet connection. Another thing that I wanted to talk about tonight was equity. One building is being told they are not allowed to bring Chromebooks into the building, okay? So the education of the remote and hybrid students from this building will not be the same. They will be receiving different instruction. This is not equitable. Teachers from this building will now be planning 2 different lessons each day for each subject. Again, this is not equitable instruction, not only between the hybrid and remote students, but from one building to another. Another thing that I would just like to say is most teachers that requested accommodations for medical reasons were told to report to work or take an unpaid leave. All other accommodations were denied. I just wanted the board to have a clear picture of that. Thank you for your time.
Yes, before you leave, Speaker, let me address some of your concerns. Yes, we are aware of some of the issues that we had throughout the district. That's why we asked the teachers to come in a week prior to the students. We have addressed many of those issues, and we will continue to address those issues as we have approved tonight additional services through Verizon. Then on the other hand, let me say this, I understand your position, but you do have a union, and this is not the appropriate venue. I take offense, of course, to say that teachers don't have or feel threatened that they can't speak out. That's why we have building principals. So I'm going to direct you to your president of your union, to whom I communicate with often, and he communicate with me. If you have any issues, because there are several of them which you mentioned that I don't agree with, and I don't believe, nor will I take this platform to discuss that with you. But I am going to say, as a teacher, you have a venue in which you can present your grievances, and that's through your building principal, your building principal for the day-to-day things, but your union president for all other issues. And I'm going to ask that you please contact your union president and have him present that information to me so that we can address it. But this is not the forum to do that. And I really, really do disagree. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, yes, I heard what she said. This is not the venue for me to discuss a lot of those issues because I disagree with her totally. But I do want her to submit them to the president of the union and use the venue that's already in place for the teachers for these things to be addressed. This is not the one, and I'm not going to put myself in a position where we're going to do it in violation of the bargaining agreement that we already have with the school district. Thank you, caller, but that is my response.
All right, thank you, caller.
Madam President, I have a question.
Yes,
If I
Mr.
may.
Clinton.
Dr. Potee, I know in the just in our agenda, I noticed I think that with Verizon, we were purchasing, I want to say, did it say a gig of gig of broadband or something?
Right.
Have we looked at possibly maybe adding access points throughout the building that will just allow the signal for internet to go without being broken? So I don't know if Verizon even suggested about adding access points or even extenders.
No, well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, board, you know we have our own tech department.
Right.
We have our supervisor of technology, one for the educational programs, one for the support staff. Our technicians have been working around the clock since Monday. We are making these adjustments based on what our needs are. The building principals have been working directly with the techs and the teachers to accommodate them. So that some of these issues that were just brought before us, they do have building reps, and I think those building reps should be sitting with the building principals and funnel that stuff through the union president so we can use the proper channels. However, my tech team brought to my attention some of the things we needed, and one of those was what the board approved tonight, and that should give us some additional access and connectability. But at this point, we are going to be all right, members of the board. I just want to assure you that we're going to be okay. This week was designed for this purpose, and we knew that. Just think about it. If we didn't have this week and we brought the children in and the teachers in at the same time, then you're talking about a chaotic situation. But we're going to address the issues that you have. What we are doing tonight with that agreement will enhance a lot of what we've done. We've upgraded a lot of the equipment in many of the schools. So at this point, I'm satisfied in the direction that we're going. And at this point, we're going to be ready on the 1st. Sure, we're not going to be perfect, but I don't think there's any school district in the state of New Jersey who have opened for hybrid can say that they have a perfect situation. But I think as a school district, we're going to be able to meet the needs of the children. And here's a situation where I'm saying we just need to get started. We need to get in there. We need to work through the process. We're asking everyone to deal with it at the building level, through their reps, whatever they need to do. But let's address the issues the proper way and let's get them done. But we will open on March the 1st, and we will make sure that every building is in a position to provide their children equity across the board for all of those children. So we're ready to go, and we'll deal with the issues. I'm not opposed, nor are we. The assumption was we're keeping something away from you. That's not the point. We're not hiding anything. We've been transparent since August. And at this point, I'm satisfied that we are working diligently to address any issues. So any issues at the building level for anyone else out there, please address them with your building principal or your rep. And I will wait to have this conversation with the union president to work out any specifics or details that need to be done. But members of the board, we're going to work it out, and we're going to be ready come March 1st for those young people when they return to their classrooms Monday morning.
And Dr. Poti, I agree with you. This right now is the time for the trial and error.
Yes.
And it wasn't really based off what the caller said. I experienced it even with my daughter, that there was some problems with,
yes.
With her, with the teachers and the connection with the class. So that was a question that I meant to ask when I saw it on the report. It just came back to me. So that's what I was asking. I was just wondering, so it wasn't really based off the caller, but I just want to know if that was something that even Verizon even mentioned.
Yes, that is, well, we have access points all through our schools.
Okay.
And, there are some issues in certain buildings or certain wings, that sort of thing, and we're correcting them as they present themselves. Unfortunately, you only get one side, but what I am saying to you, a lot of the issues that were presented were corrected. That's why we're here. We corrected those issues, and we're moving on to the next one. But at this point, once we get this in place, hopefully tomorrow, we'll be even in a better situation. But this is not the time to fall back. This is the time to move forward and make the corrections as we go along so that we can eventually address all of them, whatever they are. But you and I both know that using technology, you're always going to have some issues. I mean, it's never going to be a situation where you're not going to, even in your homes, you have issues with technology.
I was just about to say that. I got Verizon, and my house is not nowhere the square size of the school, and I still lose connection with a 5G signal, right?
And that's the point I'm making, Mrs. McClendon. That's the point I'm making. It's not a foul-proof situation. We're going to work it out. And again, we've devoted and spent a lot of money on resources and technology. These are things that can be corrected, and we're going to correct them.
Dr. Poti, I do have a question, not to cut you off though. I hear the caller being super frustrated. Is there anything as far as like self-care that the district is providing? Because I hear it in her voice. Clearly, this caller really wants to do well with her students, but there's a frustration level that I'm hearing. And what can the board do? And I'm talking to the board members as well, that we can provide some kind of self-care, because it's tough. Like, I'm a teacher too, so I understand the frustrations that's going on across the
State.
the state, and and I just I feel like this is the place to have those conversations. She's frustrated, and I feel like you might not need address it right now though, but she has a right to feel her concerns and express it in this venue. And so, but my question is there anything that we can do to help support staff members at Winslow who feel frustrated? What can we do?
Well, at this point, Mr. Blake, and I don't want you to take the wrong position on how I responded. But I do disagree with you that this is not the venue, because first of all, it's obvious to me that if I go back to the building principal and ask the building principal, did that teacher have that conversation with him or her, 9 times out of 10, it didn't take place. Okay, because you can't get building level issues done in the public meeting before the board. We need to go back and we deal with these issues building by building. And at this point, I understand people being frustrated and angry, etc. Just like we have parents out there who are frustrated and angry. This pandemic has caused a lot of frustration and anger among all of us. Now, do we have a system in place? Sure. Human resources is available. We have a litany of resources available to address issues that teachers have. Again, so that I know, like this tonight, this is the first time I'm hearing of this type of frustration and anger. But now I will have Mr. Davis reach out to the building principals and find out whether or not any teachers, so that those teachers can call Mr. Davis directly, so we can provide those resources to those individuals. But you do understand, Mr. Blake, that I'm multitasking here. I can deal with that, but I also have to make sure that I deal with all the technology issues. I have to make sure we take care of all the resource issues, and also have to make sure we get this building open and prepared for the children that's coming. So I understand. So that's why I would prefer that the teachers and anyone follow the proper channels, because I'm not the only one who's available to address these issues. That's why we have people in those buildings who can, take care of those things. But don't just come to the board, and then when I go to the building principals and they tell me, well, the teachers never said anything to me, I didn't even know that was a problem. So we have a system in place, and that's why it is agreed upon. The contract is agreed upon. There are procedures in those contracts that we address these issues of teachers. And this is not one. I have not seen a contract where teachers' issues are addressed in a public board meeting. Come on, Mr. Blake, you've been in education a number of years. You know there are procedures in place for teachers' issues to be addressed. And there's not one in any contract that I've had and been a part of where you voice your concerns in a public meeting. That's not the way it gets resolved. So I'm going to go back, Mr. Blake, and ask those individuals either follow that chain of command to get them resolved, or have those issues presented to the president, so the president and I can have a phone conversation or a virtual meeting to address those issues. And I'm more than certain they can be resolved, because up to this point, there are no unresolved issues prior to people coming in on Monday. Everything has been resolved.
Okay, I agree. I don't think it's a contractual issue though, but I understand what you're saying though, but it's not contractual.
Okay.
But I need to say this. No, it's not contractual, Mr. Blake, but the process to resolve things is a part of the contractual agreement. Am I right? Aren't there grievance procedures in place, Mr. Blake?
It's a grievance process.
Yeah, okay.
I make a comment if I can. Dr. Poteet, Mr. Blake, would you mind if I just jumped in a sec? I've been, and I've been relatively quiet the whole meeting, so I got some time I can use right now, actually. No, in all seriousness, the problem is this individual has a right certainly to raise whatever, it's America, right? They can come into any meeting and say what they want to say. The unfortunate part, and I counsel Dr. Poteet, and we discuss this constantly, is he's not permitted without appropriate union representation being present to address what could be perceived as grievances without subjecting himself and the board to an unfair labor practice claim. Now, I know that, that sounds like a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. I don't mean it to be, but from the union leadership that I've dealt with on grievances over the years, they're straightforward. They get treated with respect. Those grievances have been before the board on numerous occasions. We go out of our way to make them feel comfortable when they come in to discuss with us so that they're relaxed and the emotions are toned down and calm. And we talk about them in an educated way. The problem with Dr. Poteet either countering the statements that were made or engaging in a discussion could be seeing him as, from the union's perspective, and with due respect to Mr. Nevitt and his team on the union representatives, of debating it in a public forum, a grievance of a particular teacher that must work its way through a certain process. And it's not to say that she can't call and say what she wants. Absolutely can. And she can tell the board whatever she wants. The problem is Dr. Poteet is very much handcuffed in his ability to directly respond to anyone in a public forum because of the ramifications of the collective bargaining agreement, the grievance process, and the potential for an unfair labor practice to be committed with him in direct dialogue with union representatives when he has to have the representatives present when they're presenting the grievance so that they are formally they're entitled to be. The contract says they should be represented. So it's difficult. I don't question her ability to raise those concerns at a meeting. I question our ability, which we don't have, to respond appropriately in this format.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Long. So, Ms. Boyle,
Yes.
next caller,
Thank you.
our next caller.
They're joined in now. Good evening, caller. You have joined the public comment section of the Winslow Township public meeting. If you could state and please spell your name, and then you can make your comment to the board.
Okay, my name is Earlene Green. First name Earlene, Urlean. Last name Green, like the color. Address 130 Norcross Road in Berlin.
Miss Green, you can make your comment.
I have just two quick questions, and I do have a comment after that. So I just opened my informational letter in reference to school resuming in person. For me personally, my son is a high schooler, and I have opted for him not to go back to school at this point. But I just want to make sure I understood Dr. Poteet that the fourth quarter is there will still also at that time be an option for will it stay hybrid? It won't go full term or full back. It will just be probably the two options.
Dr. Poteet.
You're muted, Doc.
I'm sorry. It will still be hybrid. We are not prepared to bring all of our children in for full face-to-face at this time.
Okay. Thank you for that. And then the school schedule of periods looks like it changed. So that will be same for remote as well as hybrid, will be the same times for school?
Whatever the schedule is, I'm not aware. Mr. Morell at the high school would probably be able to respond to that question better than myself. But there should not be too much of a difference, if any, in the schedule you presently have and the one that you'll be having once we start our hybrid model. So I would ask respectfully, if you call Mr. Morella, he would probably be able to give you more specifics on that schedule.
Okay, thank you. And my comment, I have to, commend all of you, Dr. P, as well as all the board members and any teachers of the Winslow Township system. It has been a long year and a lot of frustration and pain, actually. And I hear that teacher speaking, and I know that I think you all have done a great and wonderful job. If I had a hat and was a male, I would tip it to you. If you could see me, I would applaud you all and stand. It's been rough. It's been hard, the challenges, and you still have more to come, especially when you're starting to go the hybrid. And you will find things that will come up that will be difficult again to handle and deal with, but I think I just want to say you're all doing an exceptional job with what you have done so far for the year and going forward. I just am praying for all of you as well as everyone, people, parents, students, everyone, that things, will go forward and progress, and we will get there. I mean, we've gotten this far. We will get there. Don't know when, but we will get there, God willing. And I pray for all of you to stay well and stay safe through these transitions that we'll go through with resuming with school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for your insight. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all for your time and all that you do.
Thank you.
Ms. Boyle, next. Anyone holding?
I think everyone was muted, either accidentally or intentionally. Mrs. Boyle, you're muted. Now
Okay.
Okay, all right.
I have introduced the caller in to the meeting. So caller, you join the public comment section of the board meeting. If you would state your name and please spell it for us as well, and your address, and then you can make your comment to the board.
Yes, this is Winslow Joe, Joe. I'd just like to congratulate the board and all its board members for the hard work that's coming through this past year. It's evident that the safety of the kids were at the foremost of the goal, and I think you reached that, and I think you got it right. I'd like to congratulate you for inviting the community in and hearing their voice. I'd like to congratulate Poteet on Real Talk. It's a phenomenal situation, a phenomenal show. Thanks a lot, Dr. Poteet. I'd like to thank Ms. Pitts for introducing the possibility of having vaccinations right here in Winslow Township. We need more forward thinking like that to let them know that Winslow Township is the biggest seat in the county and things can happen right here in Winslow Township. And you guys could all take a bow. I mean, you got in the ring, you fought it out. We didn't all agree, but one thing we did agree on is trying to move Winslow forward, and I think you got it right. And I'd like to say thank you, and you made me proud.
Well, you're quite welcome. Mr. Thomas? Mr. Thomas? Is he still on the line? Is Mr. Thomas?
I'm looking.
He hung up? Okay. Because I believe Mr. Thomas is one of our Citizen Advisory Committee members.
We were hoping he would use the rest of his 2.5 minutes.
So that concludes. There's nobody else in the wait room.
Okay. Okay. I got your message, Ms. McClendon. All right, board members, at this time, I'm asking for a motion to adjourn public comment portion.
Motion, Shaw.
Blake, second.
Moved by Mr. Shaw, second by Mr. Blake. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposition? Thank you. Mr. Long, moving to our executive session.
Yes, Madam President, my computer went down. Well, not down, but you know how it shuts down when it's. I'll go to the reliable, the double system of paper.
Mr. Long, I know Mr. Long, you can't be having technical issues.
I think it's my connectivity here, Doc.
It only happens to us.
If I may, in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, we will have a need for a short executive session this evening February 24th, 2021 at 8:40 p.m. The purpose of that executive session would be item 4, discussing any matter relating to collective bargaining agreements. In this case, it's with the WTAA and the Winslow Township Board of Education. I would hope and expect, unless Mrs. Boyle has food all waiting for us outside our front doors this evening, that we may only be 20 minutes or possibly less. And I do not anticipate us taking any formal action coming out of executive session.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr. Long.
And
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Pitts,
Yes, Dr. Poteet.
we sent everyone a new link for executive session that you should have received around 4, 5. That's the link you should be using, okay?
Right. Okay.
So
Thank you.
exit
Board
out of
members.
this, right, Doc, and go exit out of this.
At
and go
this
to the
time,
link.
Yes.
At this time, board members, I'm asking for a motion to approve moving into our executive session.
Motion, Shaw.
Blake, second.
Moved by Mr. Shaw, second by Mr. Blake, that we move into executive session. Roll call, please.
Okay. Mr. Blake,
Yes.
Ms. Dredden,
Yes, yes,
Ms. Martin,
Yes.
Ms. McClendon,
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Ms. Thomas,
Night, baby.
Peterson,
That's 8 for me. It was 9 for you.
and Ms. Pitts.
Yes.
Motion has carried.
Thank you. We'd have to tell Dr. Poteet to mute himself.
Doc, we got those numbers.
A lot of board members here. I got to tell you something. I'm a little bit thick-skinned, but
Board members, motion approved. We are going into executive session. Have a safe trip. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay, so now
Do you hear everything okay, Mr. Blake? Good.
Mr. Blake, my teacher and colleague in education, I know you didn't have any technical difficulties, brother. not you, brother.
Well, I'm 3 for 3 tonight. I'm happy. I got it.
But Dr. Cote, I want to thank the staff for thinking about Macs. Get in now easy with my Mac, because before it was
Right.
for PC, so thank you.
Right. And for me to be able to get into executive session and then come out into the meeting, we're making progress now.
And Doc, you were all going sweet nothings on something going on over there. Really shook the board up there for a few.
It was time. It was time for my baby to go to bed, and she came on and wanted to say good night. But you know what? I didn't know my mic was on, man. That's all right. That's all right. That was a good thing. I just want you to know there's love in this house here.
Yes, that was nice.
Nobody goes to bed without giving you my sugar. That's mandatory.
Are we all back?
Yes. Yes.
Are we all here?
Yes.
Yes.
Ma'am.
Ms. Pitts, we can't see you. Is your camera off?
Oops.
Ah.
That camera.
What's with that camera?
I don't know. Okay.
There you are.
There you are.
Okay, all right. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, board members, motion to adjourn our executive session.
Motion, Shaw.
Blake, second.
It's been moved by Mr. Shaw and second by Mr. Blake that we adjourn our executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So now we are back, ladies and gentlemen, into our regular session. And so before I ask for an adjournment, I'm going to wish everyone a good evening. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Yes.
At this time, I'm asking for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion, Shaw.
Blake, second.
It's been moved by Mr. Shaw, second by Mr. Blake to adjourn this meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Good
Any
night.
opposed? Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Team, very good work tonight.